She gave half her lunch to a janitor, but she had no idea who he really was. Welcome to our storytelling channel, where every tale brings a lesson and a little magic. If you enjoyed today's journey, don't forget to drop a comment below and tell us where in the world you're watching from. We love hearing from our global family. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because tomorrow's story is one you won't want to miss. It's heartfelt, surprising, and might just change the way you see love and courage. See you in the next episode. In the heart of downtown Houston stood a shimmering tower of glass and steel, the headquarters of Brightcore Innovations, one of America's most respected clean energy companies. People passed by every day, admiring its modern structure and polished entrance, but none of them knew the truth hidden behind the tinted windows. The company was founded by Logan Brooks, a 35-year-old tech genius who had built a multi-billion-dollar empire from scratch. Yet despite his wealth, power, and influence, Logan felt something was missing. Love. Real love. Over the years, he had met countless women, at conferences, charity galas, and even through mutual friends, but the pattern was always the same. They fell in love with his bank account, not with him. They adored the luxury cars, the weekend trips, and the designer gifts, but never once did he feel truly seen. After enduring betrayal, manipulation, and heartbreak, Logan made a decision that shocked even his closest advisor. "I'm done," he said one night sitting across from his best friend and personal assistant, Marcus. "I'm tired of being a prize to be won. I need to know who would still care about me if I had nothing to offer." Marcus looked up, confused. "What are you talking about?" Logan leaned forward. "I'm going undercover as a janitor at Brightcore. I want to live among the people who don't know my name, who don't recognize my face, who won't pretend just to impress me. I want to find someone who treats me with kindness when I have nothing. Not a tailored suit, not a business card, not even a last name." Marcus blinked. "You do realize you'll be scrubbing toilets, right?" Logan chuckled. "That's the point." By Monday morning, the plan was in motion. Logan shaved off his well-groomed beard, darkened his skin with light makeup to look more aged, and wore an oversized t-shirt, faded jeans, rubber gloves, and a worn-out baseball cap. He walked into his own building through the staff entrance and introduced himself with a low, gravelly voice. "Name's Joe. I'm here for janitorial duty." The security guard barely looked at him and waved him through. Inside, the difference was immediate. No one held the elevator for him. No one greeted him with a smile. In the hallways, he was invisible. Just another cleaning guy in the background. And yet Logan felt strangely free. For the first time in years, he wasn't being watched as a CEO, but as a man with no title. He was assigned to the ground floor, restrooms, lobby floors, and back hallways. The work was tough. His back ached. His arms burned, but he didn't complain. He mopped, scrubbed, and swept while observing, watching, listening, and waiting. Because somewhere in that massive building, Logan believed there was someone who would notice the man, not the money. Someone who would speak with kindness, not calculation. And when he found her, she would have no idea that the man holding the mop was actually holding her future. 3 days into his new life as Joe the janitor, Logan was already exhausted. His back was stiff, his knees sore, and the chemical scent of floor cleaner clung to his clothes. Yet each morning he showed up at Brightcore Innovations before sunrise, pushing his mop cart through the quiet hallways and trying not to lose sight of his purpose. He had encountered all kinds of people, rushed executives who brushed past him like he didn't exist, assistants glued to their phones, and managers who barked orders without eye contact. No one smiled. No one cared. Until her. It was Thursday afternoon. Logan was wiping down tables in the corner of the cafeteria when he noticed her. A young woman, maybe late 20s, sitting alone with a plain peanut butter sandwich and a reused plastic water bottle. Her hair was neatly tied back, her shoes scuffed, and her handbag had a broken strap held together by a safety pin. Yet she smiled, not at him, but at an older janitor struggling to carry a trash bag. She stood up, walked over, and offered him the bottle of water from her lunch. "Here, sir," she said with a warm voice. "You look thirsty." Logan watched the entire thing, stunned. She didn't look around for an audience. She wasn't pretending, she just cared. Later, as he passed by her table while mopping, she looked up and smiled at him too. "Good afternoon, sir." He froze. She was talking to him. "You work really hard," she added. Logan blinked. Thank you. That's kind of you to say." "May God bless your hands," she whispered. He could barely find words. "And may he bless yours too," he replied softly. That night, Logan couldn't sleep. Her kindness echoed in his head. It wasn't just her words. It was how she looked at him. Like he mattered. Like he existed. The next day, he paid closer attention. Her name was Madison Clark, and she worked in the IT department. Always early. Always quiet. No gossip. No drama. She greeted the receptionist. She thanked the cafeteria staff. She held the elevator for strangers. Every small thing she did confirmed it. Madison wasn't like the others. At lunch, Logan watched her again. She unwrapped leftover spaghetti from a container and poured tap water into a cup. An office assistant walked by, clearly tired. Without hesitation, Madison called him over and handed him half of her food. "Take it," she said gently. "I've had enough." Logan's chest tightened. Who was this woman that night, he told Marcus. "I think I've found her." Marcus leaned in. "The one?" Logan nodded. "She gave away her lunch. She smiled at me when I was invisible. She didn't have to. That's who I've been looking for." "But are you sure?" Marcus asked. "I'm not sure of anything," Logan replied. "But I'm going to find out who Madison Clark really is. And if her heart is as genuine as I believe, she'll never go hungry again." And so began the next step of his plan. Quiet. Hidden but life-changing, Logan had made up his mind. Madison wasn't just kind, she was consistent. Every day she showed the same grace, the same quiet strength. She never complained, never showed off, and never asked for anything. And that's exactly why he wanted to give her everything. So he began in secret. First, he found out who her landlord was. Through a few discreet calls and a little cash, Logan anonymously paid 6 months of Madison's rent, in full. No names, no explanation. Just a quiet gift from someone who had been watching with respect. The next morning, Madison walked out of her apartment, stunned to see her landlord smiling at her. "Good news," he said. "Someone paid your rent. You're covered till next spring." She froze. "Wait, who?" The landlord shrugged. "Didn't leave a name. Just said to tell you someone out there appreciates you." Her eyes welled. "But thank you, God," she whispered, holding her keys tight as she walked to work. Her steps were lighter that day, her heart finally free from the stress that had quietly eaten at her for months. At the office, during her usual hallway break, she spotted Logan, or Joe, mopping near the back. "Good morning," she said with her usual smile. "Morning," he replied. "You won't believe what happened," she said, her voice trembling. "My rent, if someone paid it, just like that. No name, nothing." Logan acted surprised. "Wow, that's amazing." She nodded. "I don't even know who to thank." He smiled softly. "Maybe someone's just watching over you. You deserve." But while Madison's heart was full of gratitude, someone else had started to notice her too, for all the wrong reasons. His name was Ben Carter, the company's general manager. Arrogant, well-dressed, and used to getting his way, Ben prided himself on being the man people feared or wanted to please. And Madison? She wasn't interested in either. She avoided his stares. She never laughed at his jokes. And when he finally called her into his office to talk, she stayed professional. "You're a beautiful woman, Madison," he said, leaning back in his leather chair. "Thank you, sir," she replied, cautious. "I could give you a better life," he continued. "More money, a better position. You don't need to struggle." Madison blinked. "I'm not struggling," Ben chuckled. "Come on, I see you. Always eating the same food, walking to work. I could change that." She stood up. "With all due respect, sir, I'm not interested." Ben's smile dropped. You sure about that? Completely. From that day forward, things shifted. Ben gave her more work. He snapped at her in meetings. The atmosphere grew colder, but Madison didn't flinch. She held her head high, carried her dignity like armor, and kept doing her job. Logan saw it all. He saw the way Ben treated her. He saw her walk out of that office with fire in her eyes, not fear. And in that moment, he knew. She wasn't just good, she was brave, and she needed someone in her corner, even if he had to fight in secret to protect her. Ben Carter had crossed the line, and Logan couldn't stay silent any longer. That afternoon, as Madison quietly returned to her desk after another humiliating encounter with Ben, Logan found her near the janitor's hallway. Her shoulders were tense. Her voice, when she spoke, trembled. I can't do this anymore, she said softly. I just want peace. Logan put down his mop and stepped closer. Tell me what happened. She hesitated, then spilled everything. How Ben had tried to buy her affection with a brand new phone. How he'd called her baby in his office, and how he threatened to get her fired when she refused him. Logan's jaw clenched, his hands curled into fists. I'll talk to him, he said. No, she whispered, grabbing his arm. He's the general manager. He can do anything. If he finds out you stood up to him, you could lose your job. Logan looked her in the eyes, calm but firm. Let him try. And with that, he marched straight toward Ben Carter's office. No, more pretending. He knocked once, just enough to be polite, then opened the door. Ben looked up, clearly irritated. What do you want? Logan stepped inside, eyes locked. Stay away from Madison. Ben blinked. Excuse me. I said stay away from her, Logan repeated, louder this time. Ben stood scoffing. Do you know who you're talking to? You're just a janitor. Logan didn't flinch. No, I'm a man. And unlike you, I know what respect means. Ben's voice rose. I could have you kicked out of this building by morning. Logan smiled calmly. You can try, but soon you'll realize you've already lost. For a second, Ben was silent. There was something about Logan's tone, measured, unwavering, that rattled him. Who the hell are you? He muttered. Logan turned and walked out without answering. Back in the hallway, Madison waited nervously. What did he say? Did he hurt you? Logan smiled gently. He can't hurt me. But what if... Trust me, he interrupted. His power ends today. The next morning, a company-wide email went out. Mandatory staff meeting. Conference room, 9:01 a.m. Every employee gathered in confusion. The janitor, Joe, stood quietly by the podium. Whispers filled the room. Why is the cleaner standing up there? Ben laughed aloud from the side. Get him down, this is a joke. Then the screen lit up. A logo. A name. Logan Brooks, founder and CEO, Brightcore Innovations. Gasps swept across the room. Logan removed his cap and sunglasses. Dead silence. One woman dropped her coffee. Ben turned white. Logan stepped up to the EUA. Mike, my name is Logan Brooks. I've been working undercover here as a janitor for the past month, to see how people treat those they think are beneath them. He turned to Ben. Mr. Carter, you're done. Security guards entered. You, harassed employees, abused your power, and shamed this company's values. You are terminated, effective immediately. The guards escorted Ben out as he shouted protests no one listened to. Then Logan scanned the room and smiled. But there's one person who treated me like a human being even when I had nothing. He turned. Madison Clark. Please come. Ward. She stepped up, trembling, stunned. Logan got down on one knee, pulled out a ring box, and opened it. Will you marry me? Tears welled up in her eyes. The room held its breath. Yes, she whispered. The crowd erupted. It was the proposal no one saw coming, from the janitor who was really a king, to the woman who saw his heart before his title. The news spread like wildfire. A billionaire CEO had been mopping floors. A humble IT assistant had unknowingly captured his heart. And the man everyone called the janitor had just proposed to her in front of the entire company. But that was just the beginning. Logan and Madison's engagement sent shockwaves through Brightcore. Some people clapped out of excitement. Others stared in disbelief, whispering theories and wild guesses. But for Madison, standing beside Logan in that moment, none of it mattered. She had just said yes to the only man who ever truly saw her. And he had seen her long before the promotion, the car, or the apartment. He saw her when she was eating leftovers from a plastic container, when her shoes were worn out, and when the world walked past her like she was invisible. Logan never forgot that. Their wedding, held 2 months later in a quiet botanical garden on the edge of Houston, wasn't about extravagance. It was about peace, sincerity, and second chances. Madison walked down the aisle in a flowing ivory dress, eyes locked on Logan. He stood at the altar, not as a CEO or a man of wealth, but as the man she said yes to when he still wore rubber gloves and pushed a mop cart. They exchanged vows under the Texas sun, surrounded by people who now saw the beauty of truth over status. After the wedding, Madison became more than just Logan's wife. She became his partner. Together, they co-led Brightcore Innovations with a vision for dignity and fairness. She implemented programs to protect employees from harassment, created a wellness fund for staff under financial stress, and started a mentorship program for women in tech. But not everyone was happy. Ben Carter, now jobless and bitter, had begun spreading rumors. He claimed Madison had only accepted Logan's proposal after discovering his identity, that she was manipulative, playing a long game. Madison heard the whispers, but she didn't respond. She didn't need to. One Friday morning, as Logan held a town hall meeting, he addressed it all with one line. "She loved me when I was sweeping floors, that's all that matters." The room fell silent. Madison smiled from the front row, and just when it seemed like things had calmed down, a twist no one expected occurred. Rachel, the HR officer who had once warned Madison about Logan, calling him a gold digger, had changed her tune. She had seen Logan's true nature, his quiet strength, and suddenly she wanted a second chance. One afternoon, she cornered him by the elevators. "I misjudged you," she said with a sugary smile. "But I see you now." Logan raised an eyebrow. "Do you?" "I was wrong," she continued. "But maybe we could still be friends." Logan gave her a long, quiet look, then replied, "Rachel, you only saw me when the spotlight hit. Madison saw me when I was in the shadows, and that's the kind of love that lasts." He stepped into the elevator and left her standing there, silent, and as the doors closed, Logan smiled to himself. He hadn't just found love. He had found proof that real hearts still exist, even in a world full of masks. What did you feel while watching this story unfold? Was it the moment Logan dropped his disguise, or when Madison chose love over luxury? That struck a chord with you. We believe everyone watching this has their own view, their own lesson drawn from this tale of humility, courage, and truth. That's why we want to hear from you. Take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments. Would you have recognized Logan's heart beneath the uniform? Do you think Madison made the right choice? Have you ever met someone who only saw your worth after you succeeded? Leave a comment below and tell us not just what you think. Tell us how this story made you feel. And if you're watching from a different part of the world, don't forget to let us know your city or country. We love hearing from our global family. Your comment might just inspire someone else who's also searching for something real in a world full of masks. Let's talk in the comments. We're reading every single one.